Some people don't cry, they don't complain, they don't ask for help. They just stay quiet. But that doesn't mean they're okay. We live in a generation that hides burnout behind perfect Instagram stories, that masks emotional collapse with productivity, that smiles at the camera while screaming in silence behind it. And maybe you're one of those people. You hold it together. You keep showing up. You say, "I'm fine," with a half smile, and then collapse into bed feeling like a ghost of yourself. This video isn't about breaking down, it's about what happens when you don't. When you keep suppressing your emotions until your silence starts to become your suffering. We're going to talk about emotional suppression, why so many of us look strong but feel empty, and how to begin reconnecting with the feelings we were never taught how to hold. Because being quiet doesn't always mean being calm. Sometimes it means you've just given up on being heard. You ever feel like you're carrying too much, but you don't even know what exactly? You wake up already tired. You go through the day doing everything right, but nothing feels right. And when people ask, you don't even know how to explain what's wrong, because the pain isn't loud, it's quiet, like background static that never stops. This is the reality for so many young people today. We're taught to function, not to feel. Taught to perform, not to process. Somewhere along the line, being strong became about not showing emotion, about keeping your voice steady, your face blank, your body moving. But the body remembers what the mouth refuses to say, and that silence becomes stress. That stillness becomes sadness. That composure becomes numbness. As psychologist Dr. Gabor Mate says, the attempt to escape from pain is what creates more pain. And we become really good at escaping through distractions, through pretending we don't feel anything at all. But buried feelings don't die. They just harden, and they begin to echo in every part of your life until one day you realize you're not just tired, you're emotionally shut down. The truth is, most of us were never taught emotional fluency. We learned early that crying was weakness, that asking for help was attention-seeking, that anger was dangerous, that silence was safer. So we became experts at emotional suppression. We smiled when we wanted to scream. We helped others while we were falling apart. We got really good at looking fine. But what happens when we do that long enough? Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Unexpressed emotion becomes your autopilot. It shows up as irritability, fatigue, overthinking, withdrawal, and even physical illness. And yet, we still keep it in. Because emotional expression feels unsafe, or worse, pointless. But here's a reframe. Suppressing emotion is not strength, it's survival. And it served a purpose. You learned to suppress because at some point, expressing hurt wasn't safe. You needed to keep going. You needed to stay functional. And that's okay. But now, you're no longer in that same environment. And what once protected you is now blocking you. Psychologist Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, writes, "Being able to feel safe with other people is probably the single most important aspect of mental health." So emotional healing isn't about breaking down. It's about creating spaces where your emotions are allowed to exist. That starts with honesty, with language, with small acts of recognition, like journaling, like texting a friend, "I'm not okay, but I don't know how to talk about it," like sitting still, and letting the wave come without running from it. You don't heal by pretending to be okay. You heal by admitting you're not, and allowing that truth to move through you. So, how do you begin? How do you unnumb yourself? How do you stop being the quiet one that's silently falling apart? Here are 3 practices. Not quick fixes, but real tools to bring you back to yourself. 1. Journaling without judgment. This isn't about writing poetry. It's about writing truth. Try this. Every morning or night, write just 1 page. Start with, "I feel," and let it go from there. No one has to read it. You don't have to explain it. This is about giving your emotions a voice. Because when you name the feeling, you give it permission to exist. 2. Let your body speak. Emotions live in the body. So if your words are stuck, try movement. Walk without music. Stretch. Scream into a pillow. Let your body express what your mouth can't yet say. Feeling is not always verbal. Sometimes it's visceral. This is the hardest one. Because when you're emotionally shut down, you think you're a burden. But healing doesn't happen alone. Text a friend, even if you don't know where to start. Say something, even if it's awkward, even if it's messy. Because connection is the antidote to silent suffering. None of these steps require you to be ready. They just require you to be willing. To take 1 honest breath. To write 1 sentence. To ask for 1 moment of softness in a world that taught you to be hard. You don't have to be loud to be alive. But you do have to be honest. Your silence is not your identity. It's your armor. And maybe it kept you safe, but safety is not the same as freedom. You've learned how to survive. Now it's time to learn how to feel. How to open your mouth when the world taught you to clench your jaw. How to breathe again when you've been holding your breath for years. What you silence doesn't disappear, it just waits to be heard louder. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are not dramatic for wanting to cry. You are not broken because you can't always explain why you're sad. You are human, and humans were made to feel. As author Cheryl Strayed once wrote, "You don't have a right to the cards you believe you should have been dealt, but you do have a responsibility to play the hell out of the ones you're holding. So play them, with shaky hands, with a heavy heart, with hope. Not because it's easy, but because your silence deserves a voice, and your story deserves to be heard." If this video made you feel seen, even a little, know that this space is for you. The quiet ones, the ones who keep everything in, the ones who are tired of pretending they're okay. You don't have to say everything, but maybe today, you say something. Drop a comment, "I'm learning to feel again." Let it be your signal, your soft rebellion against silence. If you're journaling for the first time, or thinking of going to therapy, or just finally feeling something real again, that's progress. Not perfection, not performance. Progress. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone whose quietness you now realize might be hiding something deeper. And in next week's video, we'll explore why productivity is not the same as healing and how to tell the difference. Until then, be soft with yourself, even when the world tells you not to be. Your silence doesn't have to be your sentence. Let it be your beginning.